Wild Card Weekend. I'm here with Draven King at DKing947. We are here talking about Super Wild Card Weekend. I have Pittsburgh Steelers versus Baltimore Ravens right now. This is going to be a great week of wild card rounds. Obviously, year 2 bye weeks. There will be the Detroit Lions and the Kansas City Chiefs on the bye.
Yes, both those teams are on a bye. They are the 1 seeds. The Lions destroyed the Vikings in Week 18, but we'll get to that later. The Vikings did get destroyed, especially in that second half. I mean, it wasn't too bad in the first half, but they just got completely destroyed in the second half.
Yep. We do have some interesting playoff matchups. The Bengals did get eliminated from the playoffs with that Broncos win over the Chiefs in Week 18. The Chiefs did rest their starters, so it's nothing to look at.
The Chiefs got shut out still 38-0, which is impressive. But once again, they were playing their backups. So,
and Carson Wentz was starting QB, so...
Yeah.
If Carson Wentz is your starting QB, it's not too good. But that was only for that one game.
Yeah. That was just the second shutout of the season. I assume we won't see any more shutouts, especially since it's playoff time now. But that would be kind of sad if a team got shut out in the playoffs. But, so we'll take a look at our playoff matches.
I'll talk about the NFC. In the NFC, the 7th seed Packers will head to Philadelphia and take on the 2 seed Eagles. This game, I don't know, Saquon Barkley has been really good. I think the Eagles will pull away with a 38-21 victory.
I think the Packers will get an upset win 38-35.
Alright, next up we have the number 3 Buccaneers. We have the number 6 Washington Commanders heading to Tampa Bay to play the number 3 Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I have the Commanders getting the upset at a 42-21 victory.
I also have the Commanders getting the upset win 31-23.
Next up, we have the number 5 Minnesota Vikings head to Los Angeles to play the Los Angeles Rams. I have the Vikings winning this one by a big, or not too big, but a nice win, 28-14, or 28-17. I think the Vikings can easily pull this one out. The Rams are a pretty decent team, but Justin Jefferson and Sam Darnold are probably... I predict Justin Jefferson is going to have a big game.
Yeah. I think Justin Jefferson is going to have a pretty nice game. And I also have the Vikings winning, but I have them winning 28-20 in a bit closer game.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the Vikings will be up 28-12, and then the Rams will score a touchdown, get the 2-point conversion, and then I'll try an onside kick with just a few minutes left, and it will fail, and then Vikings will run out the rest of the clock. And that's how
Over
it will
to
end.
the AFC? You got the AFC?
Alright. To the AFC, the 7-seeded Broncos take on the Buffalo Bills, and Josh Allen has had he's probably going to get the MVP, let's be honest. A lot of people are arguing that Lamar Jackson or Joe Burrow should get. Well, they're saying stats matter for the MVP. Well,
it's about
somehow
leadership.
he won it last year. It's about last. And if it was about the stats, then Lamar Jackson would not even be near the top 5 in MVP. It would have probably done it that best out of Joe Burrow.
I have the Bills getting a big win here, 45-21. I mean, the Bills are a dominant team in the AFC, probably going all the way.
I hope. I have the Bills winning this one, 45-20. A nice blowout victory. And next in the 6-seeded Steelers head to Baltimore to take on the 3-seeded Ravens.
I have the Pittsburgh Steelers making the upset.
Oh, that's a nice one. We have the AFC, the battle for the North. 2 AFC North teams, the battle between the top 2 teams in the North. The only 2 teams that made the playoffs. The Bengals just missed the playoffs, so we'll get to that later when we talk when we review our Week 18.
I've got the Steelers beating the Ravens 27-24. Chris Boswell game-winning 58-yard field goal. And they start on their own 7, and Russell Wilson hits a deep ball to George Pickens and gets him in field goal range.
Alright, I have the Ravens winning this one 27-21 in overtime.
Pretty.
And then now you have the 5-seeded Chargers. A pretty surprising team this year. They have been able to do a lot under what's
Jim
that coach's name? Jim Harbaugh. I was seeing John Harbaugh is the Ravens coach. So it's like, is it Jim or John? But Jim Harbaugh has led this team to a pretty nice season for them. But it might end here. But I mean, the Texans have not been all that good. So I'm actually going to get an upset win here for the Chargers. I have them winning 27-21 with a game-winning field goal.
I've also got the Chargers taking this one in a offensive game. I'm predicting high scoring, 42-35. Game-winning touchdown pass to Ladd McConkey with 15 seconds left.
I just don't think the Texans have been good lately. They just really haven't been showing me that they're good. They lost. I can't even speak. They lost the Titans a few weeks ago. They've lost 3 of their last 6, 4 of their last 8. In fact, they've lost 5 of their last 9 games.
Yeah, I just don't think I just don't think the Texans are ready. I mean, they're not even in that great of a division. They only won their division because they're in a bad division. All their teams are not good in that division. The Texans are just recently good.
Yes, Texans did have a nice turnaround, but I think they've actually regressed a little since last year. They're still a decent team. I think the Chargers are going to be able to come away with this one, actually.
There is an announcement, though. The Patriots fired their head coach, their first-year head coach, Jerod Mayo, after one season with the Patriots.
Yeah, I don't think they should have done that. I think that was a bad decision.
Bad decision by them.
I don't like that. Don't like that.
I'm pretty sure the Raiders also fired their coach.
Yes, and this was breaking news. This came out yesterday morning. Yesterday morning this happened. Doug Peterson, now he's a former head coach of the Jaguars, who was fired yesterday morning.
Yep, the Raiders fired first-year head coach Antonio Pierce.
Yes,
the Jacksonville Jaguars fired head coach Doug Peterson.
Yes. And now
Mayor was also fired.
I think one of these 4 teams will get what's his name, Ben Johnson, right? It's going to be either the Bears, Jaguars, Raiders, or the are going to be looking for Ben Johnson, who's currently the offensive coordinator of the Detroit Lions, I believe.
Bengals defensive coordinator Lou Anarumo also got fired.
Oh.
Ken Dorsey got fired after just 1 season with the Browns. So
how did that tight end drop that pass? Alright, let's get back to the podcast.
The Cowboys are still making decisions on whether if they should keep Mike McCarthy or not. I think Jerry Jones will probably stick with McCarthy, but we really don't know yet. He's been talking about how he wants to keep McCarthy. I don't think he should. I think they should hire Ben Johnson, the Lions' offensive coordinator. The Bears are also have an interview with Mike McCarthy. The Bears have said that they are also going to interview Mike McCarthy for head coach.
Wow, that is some pretty crazy news.
The Bears are the best.
Interviewing Mike McCarthy.
The Bears are desperate. They need a coach bad, and I wouldn't want them.
What's up? But yeah, I think the Bears, Mike McCarthy would be an upgrade. for the Bears.
And the Titans did clinch the #1 overall pick with the loss to the Texans, so the Titans will have the #1 overall pick in the 2025 draft.
And the Patriots did win and beat the Bills.
They did
Which
beat
the
the
fans
Bills.
did.
Well,
And
the
for
Bills
once,
didn't play starters.
and Patriots fans, this is the only time they've ever said this. They wanted the Bills to win. Yes, on Sunday.
Well, they only beat the Bills because the Bills weren't playing starters.
Yeah. Well, they did, but it was only for like a quarter.
Yeah.
So the Patriots, they probably should not have won that game because if they would have lost, they would have took the #1 overall pick. I'm not sure if they needed the #1 overall pick, but I mean, it would be useful in case they wanted to trade it or something. Anyway, let's get on to our Week 18. Reviewing Week 8.
Week 18.
So,
well, the Bengals Steelers had a great game. The Bengals did not make the playoffs, even though they did win. Pat Freiermuth dropped a chance at a game-winning field goal, but Pat Freiermuth drops the first down pass on 4th and 10. It was a perfect ball. Russell Wilson put it right in his chest, and Pat Freiermuth dropped it. So the Steelers do still make the playoffs at the 6th seed. They would have probably been a higher seed with the win. They are 10-7, but still in the playoffs. Don't carry on last week into this playoff game, or else they will lose.
Yeah.
The Broncos shut out the Chiefs, a 38-0 victory for them.
Let's start off with their Saturday games.
Alright, Saturday games? Sure.
Their Saturday games. Our first game on Saturday was the Browns and the Ravens. The Ravens took that one 35-10. Let's take a look back at our stats. Presented by Gabby. I do that every show. Alright, let's see for your stats for Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson 16 for 32. Not the best numbers there. 217 yards and touchdowns. Pretty nice. Alright, Derrick Henry 20 carries for 138 yards, 3 touchdowns. Rashad Bateman leading receiver. 5 receptions for 76 yards and a touchdown to be the cherry on top.
The Bengals beat the Steelers 19-7. Here are the stats. Joe Burrow, 37-46, 277 yards, watch touchdown, and 1 interception. Khalil Herbert was the leading rusher for Cincinnati with 20 carries, 69 yards, and Jamar Chase, the leader receiving for the Bengals, 10 catches, 96 yards, and 1 touchdown. That was the game. It was a pretty decent game. The Bengals missed the playoffs. But
yeah, with the Broncos won, but we'll get to that later. Buffalo, in our Sunday game, 12 o'clock games. The Patriots, the Bears, 23-16. Patriots could have had the #1 pick, but they won, which I believe maybe possibly the reason Gerard Mayo was fired is because they won that game. How do you win it? How do you get fired because you win a game? Well, here's how. Because you would have the #1 pick, you lost that game. That's how. Anyway. The Bears were not playing their starters that game. And next game, let's skip that one. Texans, Titans. Texans won 23-14 against the Tennessee Titans. There are your stats for that game.
And the Titans did clinch the #1 pick with that loss.
And I just want to talk about Dameon Pierce real quick. He had 19 carries for nearly 200 yards. He ran for 176 yards and a touchdown. Insane numbers put up by Dameon Pierce.
Panthers beat the Falcons in an overtime game. I believe Bryce Young had a great game. Yeah, Bryce Young was 25 for 34, 251, and 3 touchdowns. Great game by the young Bryce Young. Bryce Young, I think he's a good candidate for comeback player of the year after being not so
Yeah,
great
yeah.
last year and getting benched at the beginning of this season, coming back playing great.
Yeah, and I just want to talk about even about the Falcons. They had a great game. Michael Penix Jr. had over 300 yards. He did pretty good. 2 touchdowns but an interception. John Robinson had a very nice game. With 28 carries. Boy, they were feeding him the ball. 170 yards, 2 touchdowns, but they still lost the game. Drake London had a huge game too. 10 receptions for 187 yards and 2 touchdowns. So pretty good numbers by the losing team, but Bryce Young had some pretty nice numbers as the winning team.
Buccaneers beat the Saints 27-19. Baker Mayfield threw for 21 for 32, 221 yards, 2 touchdowns, and interception. Bucky Irving was their leading rusher with 19 carries, 89 yards, and 1 touchdown. Mike Evans clinches his 11th season with 1,000 yards. That ties Jerry Rice for most seasons with 1,000 yards of all time. If Mike Evans gets 1,000 yards, if Mike Evans gets 1,000 yards again next season, he will have the all-time record for most consecutive 1,000-yard seasons. Mike Evans had 9 catches for 89 yards, but that did get him tied for the record. And then Spencer Rattler was the QB for the Saints. He had 26 42, 42 yards, and 1 touchdown. Can I do the Cowboys game? Real fast. Can I? Well, the Commanders beat the Cowboys 23-19.
Colts beat the Jaguars 26-23 in overtime.
Can I say the Cowboys game fast?
Yeah.
Commanders beat the Cowboys 23-19. Mike McCarthy said he absolutely wants to remain with the Cowboys. Trey Lance was 20 for 34, 244 yards. Marcus Mariota led Washington to a victory. 15 for 18, 161 yards, and 2 touchdowns for Mariota. Mariota was also their leading rusher with 5 carries, 56 yards, and 1 touchdown. Then Terry McLaurin with 8 catches, 62 yards, and 1 touchdown. Jalen Tolbert, the Cowboys' leading receiver, with 4 catches and 98 yards. The Cowboys did have 0 turnovers, but was not enough to keep them winning. They were doing super good, too. Brandon Aubrey had 13 of the Cowboys' points. 13 of their 19 points. Yeah, he had 13 because of an extra point and 4 field goals. Brandon Aubrey
went out there for 1 extra point, which is...
Terry McLaurin caught the game-winning touchdown pass with 3 seconds left. And it was a 5-yard pass for Marcus Mariota. It was a lob, and McLaurin caught it for a game-winner.
Yeah. All right, Giants-Eagles. The Eagles won that 20-13, making Saquon. What did Saquon play?
Saquon
Barkley did not play, so he will not have the record. But I just want to say something. Kenny Pickett got slammed to the ground during this game, and then Tanner McKee. I have a rookie card of Tanner McKee.
That was the Cowboys game. I think you're talking about the Cowboys game.
No,
that was the Cowboys game. Did Tanner McKee also come into this? Hold on. Kenny Pickett got slammed down in the Cowboys game and was taken out for concussion. And he played great in that game. Then he played great again this week.
This Tanner McKee, I have a rookie card of him, by the way. He had 27 for 41, 269 yards, and 2 touchdowns. He was on fire.
Tanner McKee is playing great. Well, he probably will not start in the playoffs because Jalen Hurts will be back, but Jalen Hurts should be back. Yeah, Barkley and Hurts sit as the Eagles tune. I'm surprised they didn't play Barkley, as he did not get toothed, I guess they didn't want him to get the record. I guess they're more ready they want Super Bowl.
Yeah, I think Super Bowl is more important than records. Alright, let's get to the Seahawks and Rams. Or do you want to do that again? So we can do that.
I'll do it. Seahawks beat the Rams 30-25. Geno Smith throws career-high 4 touchdown passes in the Seahawks 30-25 win over playoff-bound Rams. Geno Smith was 20 for 27, 223 yards and 4 touchdowns. And Jimmy Garoppolo was 27 for 41, 334 yards, 2 touchdowns and 1 interception. I'm guessing Rams were playing backups. Were the Rams playing backups?
Yeah, because they clinched the division.
That's what it looked like, because Jimmy Garoppolo was playing.
I don't even know what.
Take it away with the Bears-Packers game. Take it away.
Not happening. Alright, Jets and the Dolphins. That's the one I skipped. Jets-Dolphins. The Jets won 32-20, ending Miami's playoff hopes, even though the Broncos would end them. Even if they would have won, they would have been ended later that day by the Broncos as the Broncos shut out the Chiefs. But we're not to that game yet. Rodgers threw a high 4 touchdowns passes in his possible final game with the Jets, and possible final game on the field would be a nice way to end the season with a win and 4 touchdowns. Let's take a look at his stats. 23 for 36, 274 yards, 4 touchdowns, and 1 interception. When Rodgers walked off the field, MetLife Stadium was chanting his name as he left the field into the tunnel after his possible final game as an NFL player.
Alright, I'll take it away. I'll take it away for this next game. The Chicago Bears beat the Green Bay Packers 24-22. Christian Watson did get injured in this game, but Caleb Williams was 21 for 29, 140 yards and 1 touchdown. DeAndre Swift, 20 carries, 65 yards, 1 touchdown. Malik Willis for the Packers was 10 for 13 and 136 yards. Great game by the Chicago Bears. It was their first time beating the Green Bay Packers in 7 games. Or something like that. Maybe 7 seasons.
It was 11 games. Really?
11 games.
Last time they beat us was 2017. Anyway, I just want to say, they hurt our quarterback on purpose.
I think you guys were playing backups, right?
No. Hurt our quarterback.
Well, who's Emmanuel Wilson? I thought your running back was some dude. I thought your running back was the Raiders running back last year. Whoever the Raiders running back.
I don't know what Jacobs wasn't on the field half the time, but Jordan Love got injured in this game. His right elbow. He will probably play in the wild card round against the Eagles.
Why was your leading receiver Malik Heath? Not like Jaden Reed or something?
Malik Heath was our leading receiver.
Malik Heath is
so that's fun.
The Broncos beat the Chiefs 38-0. Bo Nix 26 for 29, 321, 4 touchdowns. And that's about all that was important in that game because the Chiefs are going to win the Super Bowl.
I just want to say, Jordan. Hold on. You can take it away. I gotta do something with it.
Alright. The Chargers beat the Raiders 34-20. And Justin Herbert was 28 for 36, 346 yards and 2 touchdowns. And Quentin Johnston was 13 catches for 186 yards. And then the Cardinals beat the 49ers 47-24. And Kyler Murray had a big game, 25 for 35, 242 yards and 4 touchdowns. And Josh Dobbs for the 49ers was 29 43, 326 yards, 2 touchdowns and 2 interceptions.
We have breaking news. Christian Watson is ruled out, and the only game he would possibly play would be the Super Bowl if the Packers make it there. That is breaking news that we just found out. Jordan Love, Quay Walker, Evan Williams, Andre Dillard are all questionable for the Packers Sunday at 3:30 p.m. on the Eagles. And Jalen Hurts, Devontae Smith, A.J. Brown, and Jacoby Dean are all questionable for the Packers-Eagles game. Those are some big names for both
And the
teams.
last game on this list was the Lions-Vikings. The Lions won 31-9. I believe Jared Goff had a pretty decent game. Jared Goff was 27 for 33, 231 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. Those 2 interceptions. Can't do that in the playoffs or you will lose. Jahmyr Gibbs with a huge game, 23 carries, 139 yards, and 4 touchdowns. He had 3 touchdowns on the ground and 1 in the air. Jahmyr Gibbs was great.
Touchdown on the ground and 1 in the air. Okay.
So Jahmyr Gibbs is great. And then we do have our wild card rounds, but we've talked about these. We should be pretty close to the end of this week's CKG show. It was a pretty short one at only 25 minutes, but not much else to talk about here for this wild card round. Maybe,
but we do have some pretty good games coming up this week.
I will.
And
I
can't
injuries. Wait. For the Chargers, Rashawn Slater's questionable. Jasir Taylor's questionable. Gus Edwards questionable. Quentin Johnston questionable. Denzel Perryman questionable. Jeff Okuda's questionable. John Mechie the third is questionable. Christian Harris questionable. D'Angelo Ross is also questionable. For the Steelers and the Ravens.
I got the Steelers-Ravens injury report. Alright, injury report for the Steelers-Ravens. Alright, Cameron Hayward, this is for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Cameron Hayward, questionable. Michael Pruitt, questionable.
Rest of the people are on IR.
Yes, so, and then for the Baltimore Ravens, Kyle Hamilton, Justice Hill, and Zay Flowers are all questionable. The rest are on IR. Deontay Hardy, former Bills receiver, is on injury reserve.
I'll take away for the Broncos and
injury
the
reserve. No, I'm gonna do that.
Broncos,
let me do the Bills.
No, Frank Crum is questionable, and then the rest are on IR. Amari Cooper questionable for the Bills, and Terrell Bernard questionable for the Bills. The rest are on IR.
Alright. Alright, you can do the next game. Alright. Yeah.
I don't have a team in the playoffs, okay? I'm just gonna root for the Bills. Wait, I have the Chiefs. The Chiefs are my team, my second team, so go Chiefs.
Okay, alright, anyway. Alright, well, for the Packers, Eagles. I'm loading up the Packers, Eagles injury report. Alright, didn't we already say this? Oh, we already said that earlier.
Yeah.
I just like the Packers, Eagles injury report. Alright, I'll do the Commanders, Buccaneers, get ready for the Vikings. Alright, Washington at Tampa Bay, here's your injury report for that game. Jalen Daniels, KJ Osborne, Quan Martin, Cornelius, Jordan McGee are all questionable for the Commanders. Antonio Jr., K. Dotson, Jamil Dean, Mike Evers all questionable. Jordan Whitehead out for the rest of the season.
For the Minnesota Vikings, Fabian Moreau, a corner, is questionable, and Pat Jones is also questionable. The rest are on IR, won't be back till February. Blake Corum for the Rams is on IR, won't be back till February. Rob Havenstein questionable, and Hunter Long questionable. The rest will be on IR. The Vikings are 4 for 5 their last 5, and the Rams are also 4 for 5 in their last 5. But that is really all. That'll be probably, this can be the end.
Alright, thank you for watching the CKG show of week, or super wild card weekend, not just any wild card, super wild card weekend. Thank you for watching, and don't forget, this live stream was powered by,
CKG. By
me
and
my co-host. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to our channels.
And
our channels are both in the description.
Yep, and we'll see you all for the divisional round.
Next Tuesday, probably, right? Tuesday.
Yeah.